What's going on, everyone? This is From Nothing to Something Else, and today I'm sitting down with our first celebrity, David Walton Rice, actor, model, bodybuilder, influencer, motivator, overall just a great individual. Been following him for a while, so definitely happy to have you on the show today. How you doing, man?
You're doing good, man. Thank you for having me.
Man, I gave a nice little intro for you, but, for our audience, why don't you just tell them who you are, what you're about, and what you do?
Yeah, no doubt. So again, my name is David W. Rice, David Walton Rice, and I'm an actor. I've been acting since 2018 on a serious note. That's what I do full time. I actually left my full-time job back in September 2022 and just dove right in, and I've been doing it ever since. I've been blessed enough to be busy, and I'm just grinding, man, trying to dive into the arts, and tell my story as well as other people's stories, visions that they write down and they want to bring to life. So.
But that discipline, that faith in yourself, and that determination really, like I said, really propels people further than they think they can go. And I really tell people, man, your mindset and the goals that you set for yourself are really the things that can hinder you or can really propel you to just live life to the fullest. But talk about like I said, the discipline and the training. I have some friends who want to be actors. What are the different mindset and the things that you have to go through and train yourself to go through to make it and stay in trying to make it in the industry?
Well, I think the first word that comes to mind is mindset. And actually, because I felt I was guilty of this too way back, before I got serious. A lot of people think because they're charismatic or they have this bigger than life personality that they can just hop in front of a camera and start acting. That couldn't be further from the truth. You know what I mean? And I found as soon as the camera, at least for me, turned on, I got in and I was like, how do I do this? So I think that if you really want to get into something like acting, you really have to be prepared to not make any progress, so to speak, for years. It's been 2018, 19, 20, 5 years for me. I've done a bunch of small projects. I've done a bunch of free work. I've done a bunch of things that in hindsight don't matter, but it actually really does matter. Everything you do matters because it takes you a step closer, just like every rep in the gym. Sometimes you'll hit a workout for a couple of weeks. You won't really see much progress, but your body is building on itself. You just can't see it or realize it yet, But if you keep pushing, you'll see some stuff. Nice. So getting to a class, knowing how to use your body as an instrument and your emotions to be able to tell a story, even if it's just a scene, to be able to affect somebody. That's the main goal. When I was a kid, I was like, I want to be an action star. I really don't want to be an action star. I want to be able to do action movies and be very good at them, but I don't want to be known for just action roles. Like I want to be known for my work. So when you see my name on the credits or you see a film of mine coming out, you're going to deliver something that you can enjoy, that you can get something done.
And you are well versed in your acting. Like I just commented the other day, this dude pulled out the accent. This dude was doing Sign. Man, you out here beating up vampires. Man, I see you in some space film coming up. Man, I just love it. I love everything you're doing. Like I said, your combat style, just doing that is impressive. And it takes a special individuals to jump in the camera and affect those emotions. And you spoke on just individuals and actors who do inspire you and inspire people. Who are people that you look towards? I know you said you really look up to Superman because he is a symbol of hope. Who else do you pull from and draw from?
Man, so real quick on that, I've always been a Marvel and DC superhero nerd growing up because I've always heroes that I love and cherish are the ones that kind of show you what kind of person you can be, regardless of what's going on in the world. So that's why I love Superman so much, is because no matter what is going on in his world, he still remains that symbol of hope for other people and that light, even when he does make mistakes, because everyone makes mistakes. But on the other hand, I love anti-heroes like Logan, Venom, who aren't afraid to get their hands a little dirty to do what's necessary to protect the people they love, But I think right now, I just actually saw Creed 3 last night. Man, and I've always been a huge fan of Jonathan Majors and Michael B. Jordan. Like, these guys, masters of their craft, you know? And, of course, Denzel Washington, Will Smith, Tom Hardy, Kate Blanchett. Like, all these actors, just Shia LaBeouf, one of my favorite actors. Every time they step in front of the camera, they're so emotionally involved. Like, they give you everything. You know, so you don't have to do much. You just sit there and you let them take you on a ride, an emotional roller coaster, no matter what it is. You know, it's going to be solid work. Artists like that, even it doesn't even have to be acting. Like music, I always bring my headphones with me to every set, and I'll listen to music to tap into those emotional areas that I need to get to. And even artists who just give it all, you could tell. You know what I mean? It's just across the board. Under the whole umbrella of what we do, what you do, you can tell when people are passionate, and people like that inspire me all the time to be better at what I do. So
awesome, man. And you know what? I said that in the last episode, passionately unpassionate. Check it out. You know, Spotify, YouTube, Apple, everywhere that the podcast plug. No, man. And so speaking of being dedicated to roles, man, I always watch behind the scenes and just how actors really, man, just step into this role. Man, outside of the studio, they live it. They just live and breathe this. And you know, the big thing last year, I just watched the Chris Rock special about the Will Smith smack. And you know how he just got stepped outside of who we know him to be. Do you ever find yourself getting too immersed with your roles, or where what you're portraying on film seeps into your real life, and you kind of, you know, have a personality battle, or, you know, incident kind of where you know, Will is seen as the nice guy, but in real life, you know, he might want to smack somebody. You know, is there ever any conflict with roles and just life?
that's an interesting question, because it's actually the other way around. Sometimes hard part is keeping your own life out of work and out of the role. But sometimes it could be useful. But then again, like I just had a role where my character was kind of edgy. He curses a lot, and I'm trying to keep that under control in my personal life. So when I was done with that, I feel bad because some people I was around that I never cursed around, I just couldn't stop. I couldn't help myself. Every other word was the F word, man. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, guys. What's going on? But it finally left my system. Sometimes I don't find myself coming home and getting depressed or overly aggressive, depending on the role. I've learned to let that stuff go and just leave it. But being on set, sometimes if something's going on in my personal life, sometimes it's a little challenging to keep that separate. I've been pretty decent at it so far. As soon as those cameras are on and we get on marks and they say action, like I'm in the zone. But I think that can be useful, which is why I think some of the greats that we watch, they know how to regulate that. And if they don't, they're really good at hiding it. You know what I mean? And just using it in their work. But yeah, I really don't have any problems with bringing anything home too much. Other than dialogue and stuff like that. Like, I really don't have any.
You ever come back with your accents?
Actually, sometimes I do mess around with the British accent. That's my favorite accent to do.
Love it. I was like, what? This dude's got an accent. I was like, dang, this dude's off the hook. Also, I got a question, and I always wonder this. And now that you're acting, I got someone that I could talk to who's in the business. How's it work out when you're doing them sexy scenes, man? Does your wife mind? Does she get mad at you? Do you gotta hold off and pull back on your sexiness? You're a sexy man. I ain't gonna lie. I get it. I'm sure, you know, the actresses love it too. I mean, have someone. Anyways, how's that work out for you, man? How's that work? I just always want to know.
I'll be honest with you. So I'm no longer married. It's been over a year now. Okay. It didn't work out. But when those scenes came up, or when those things came up, it wasn't easy, you know. And that's another thing, another conversation you have to have with yourself if you want to get into something like this. If you're in a committed relationship, that other person should be. They should, you know, no one should be. You can't make anybody do anything, but set the standard from the beginning and say, hey, this is kind of what I do. These things are going to come up. I would love to have conversations about it when they do. and just understand that that person may not be with that. It's kind of it's a thing. It's very known for actors to get together because they have these scenes and they have these intimate moments and they're spending months at a time together on set and they have to be these other people and they're just natural connections, bro. Because all that stuff that you see on screen with love scenes and all those emotions, at least for me in my work, there's only so much you can fake. Obviously, it's not real, but if you want to affect the audience and you want the camera to pick up on those raw emotions, you kind of have to get into it. Because it'll once they pick up on that, then it's like I'm not off. So that's actually a real conversation you should probably have with your significant other, man or woman, about what it is you do because. And like you said, like for me, my type, I'm usually the love interest or the lead. And that's just something that's going to come up, you know?
You're a sexy man. Shoot. I mean, of course you're gonna get the scenes, man. And no, and like I said, I didn't know that, but I'm happy that that question came up because it is a real thing. And I was married as well. I got divorced. I used to do a lot of, I'm still doing it. We creative people, we motivators, inspire people who just love and have a passion and a purpose to change lives and inspire lives. Man, it takes a strong individual to be next to them and support that. And that's just with anyone trying to build their career. It takes a strong partner, and when you don't have that right person, like you said, it's not in their fault. Life is what it is, and relationships are what they are, and we can grow from them. So now that I know this, going through that separation, divorce, what did that do for your career, for your personal, and how did you pull through that?
I did a play. What are we in, late last year, and it was Passover. I was a play called, and it was the first time I've done theater. It was about 99 pages. Up on every single page. Me and my co-star were on stage for every minute of it, no intermission, which is fine. It was the most dialogue I've ever had, and it was the first time I did a live play, and it was the best experience of my life. But at the same time, 2 weeks before opening, that's when everything we separated. And no one knew, like I didn't tell anybody, because I was trying to process, but at the same time, keep that separate from what I was doing because I had rehearsals 5 days a week, and actually the play and performing and showing up and rehearsing and just going through that and working it actually got me through one of the hardest times of my life and having supportive people in my life. So during that time, it's a really good question. That's when I really got the real experience of keeping my personal life outside of my work, but also using it when it was necessary and then learning how to use that, So I think the biggest lesson for me during all of that was really self-reflection, like you said, and asking myself the tough questions of what it is I really want, and I came to the conclusion that what I'm doing now, I'm supposed to be doing this. I was put here to do this. But also maintain a healthy relationship with my family and being a good person, it's just so easy to, it's easy, but it's hard to I just told myself you can't give up. Like you can't, there's no other option here. Like this is you have to do this, and it's what drives me. So I think just staying physically and mentally healthy. We all have our downtimes. I think it's important to sit in it, but not sit in it too long. You got to get up and you got to get back to work, and then that fortifies you and kind of makes you into the person that you are now, and so on and so forth for the rest of your life, through all your experiences.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it, man. That's really real. When you're going through it, don't shut down, but continue living and striding for more. But you're a busy man. Tell me about, or tell the audience, tell my 5 followers on Spotify what you're doing, man. What's the next projects? What can people look out for? Where can people find you? And how can they support you?
So I'll start off by telling you my social handles. So I'm on Instagram at David. I actually have two accounts. You want to see all my work and currently what I'm doing constantly. David Walton Rice, or David W. Rice, David Walton Rice self tapes on Instagram, and then you have David W. Rice, and that's more for my comedy reels and stuff like that. You know, I put together little skits and stuff like that, and it's a great outlet. And that was another thing going back to what got me through this whole thing was just being creative and realizing that there's people out there who are watching who need to be uplifted as well. So by me doing what I do to uplift others and make them laugh, and in turn helps me. So you can find me on there. I'm on Facebook, David Walton Rice, and David W. Rice. I know in May I'm set to do a short film in LA. Oh, I'm currently on hold, meaning that I'm up for the running to land a part in a feature film that's being shot in Mexico for a month. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed for that. But if I don't get it, it's all good because what's mine is mine and what's not isn't, you know. But yeah, I just got a few things coming up, and want to stay current, follow me on Instagram.
All right, man. No, I appreciate you being on here once again. David Walton Rice, up and coming actor, superstar, motivator, inspirator. Follow him. I'll put your tags in here. This is From Nothing to Something Else. Thanks for joining us, man. I appreciate your time. And until next time.